Hey guys, welcome back to another video on this channel, and today I'm going to be showcasing all of the new weapons that have been added in the recent 1.4 Terraria update. And if you find this video informative and interesting, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for future Terraria videos. And let's get started. So in the new Terraria 1.4 update, they have added nearly 30 new weapons into the game, which is quite a lot to be honest, and I'm going to be going through all of them. So the first weapon I'm going to be going through is the Blade Staff, and the information about the Blade Staff is it does 6 summon damage, no knockback, uses 10 mana, and summons an enchanted dagger to fight for you. So if I do that, so that's what it does pretty much, and it's above your head. At this point I'm not sure how you obtain it, but okay, so yeah, so that's the Blade Staff. So the second weapon is more like a tool, to be honest. It's the Gravediggers Shovel. It does 30 melee damage, 12 critical strike chance, fast speed and weak knockback, digs in a bigger area than a pickaxe. And yeah, it's pretty useful, to be honest. I mean, you can, for example, make a elevator with this, and it does have damage as well, 13 melee damage. So this is actually quite useful, to be honest. So the third weapon is the Teragram, and this is actually quite similar to the Arcalis that you can find in like enchanted sword shrines. Okay, let me go over it. So it does 19 melee damage, 12 critical strike chance, a fast speed, very weak knockback, and unleashes a Dicing Flurry. So let me test it on. Okay, so this is what it looks like in action, and it is pretty similar to the Arcalis. Let me I'll put a video up to see like the comparison of the Arcalis to this. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But okay, so the next weapon is the Snapthorn, and this was 18 summon damage, so a bit better than the Blade Staff, to be honest. So it does extremely weak knockback and 6 summon tag damage, and your summons will focus struck enemies and strike enemies to gain access speed. So this is what it is pretty much. It looks pretty cool, to be honest. It's like a flail, in my opinion. But to be honest, I don't really see how it's a summoner weapon. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool. So the next weapon is a Leather Whip. 14 summon damage, extremely weak knockback, 4 summon tag damage. Your summons will focus struck enemies. Oh, okay, so what it means by summon tag damage is like you can bring it back pretty much. So it's not like a pet kind of summon damage like the Blade Staff, for example. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So the next weapon is the Desert Tiger Staff. So 33 summon damage, weak knockback, uses 10 mana and summons a white tiger to fight for you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, this is not summon tag damage, unlike the Leather Whip and the Snapthorn. So yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, yes, that's pretty much it. Is okay. Never mind. Okay, and okay, so the last weapon in this category is the Gladius, which does 17 melee damage, 12 critical strike chance, fast speed, extremely weak knockback, and the quote is, "Are you not entertained?" So what this is pretty much an upgraded version of the short sword, in my opinion, and it looks pretty good. I mean, because they revamped the short sword. I mean, this is kind of useful in certain situations. I'm not sure how you get it though. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and let's get on to the second set of new weapons. Okay, so I've got my second set of weapons, and the first weapon in this set is the quad barrel shotgun. So information about this is that it does 24 range damage, 4 critical strike chance, very slow speed, strong knockback, and the quote is, "When 2 or 3 just doesn't cut it." So yeah, that's all I have to say pretty much. I think it shoots like 4 rounds in one, which is quite cool. Okay, I want to try it on an enemy. Okay, never mind. My wolf just took it out. Okay, I might get rid of the wolf. So the second weapon is the Durindal, and it does 55 summon damage, very weak knockback, and this is a summon tag weapon again. So 9 summon tag damage. Your summons will focus strike enemies, strike enemies to gain attack speed. And this is what it is pretty much, and it does 55 damage, which is pretty cool. I actually really like these summon tag damage. Yeah, okay, so the next weapon is the Firecracker. It does 40 summon damage, very weak knockback. Your summons will focus, strike enemies with blazing energy. Blazing energy explodes from enemies hit by summons. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as the Durandal, but a fire version, I guess. Yeah, okay, so okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. And yeah, it sets them on fire. Okay, let me take out this one. Okay, so the next weapon is the Eventide. It does 50 range damage, a 4 critical strike chance, average speed, and very weak knockback. And it's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much a cooler version of the pulse bow in my opinion. Yeah, that looks that looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna kill them. Let me try it on these mobs. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's really cool. I think it's one of my favorite ones, to be honest. And okay, so the next weapon is the Jousting Lance, and this does this does 63 melee damage, 12 critical strike chance, fast speed, insane knockback, build momentum to increase attack power, and the quote is "Have a thee," and this is pretty much what it is. I guess a medieval, yeah, it's a Jousting Lance, so yeah, medieval themed, I guess. So the next weapon is the Celebration MK2, which does 40 range damage, 4% critical strike chance, insanely fast speed, extremely strong knockback, 50% chance to not consume any ammo, and the quote is "all good things end with a bang, or many." And this is pretty much what it does. Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest. I think this drops from the Frost Moon event, something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much. So that's where you're probably gonna get it, the Celebration MK2, and it looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so let me test it with a Knife Cthulhu to see how fast we can kill it. Okay, there it is. Wow, that was kind of sad, to be honest. It didn't even go to its second phase. So yeah, the Celebration MK2, really powerful. Only does 40 range damage, but insanely fast speed. So it is pretty good. And the last weapon in this set of weapons that we have here is the Grey Zappinator, which does 42 magic damage instead of ranged, which is interesting. 4% critical strike chance, very slow speed, average knockback. It uses 16 mana, and the quote is "it might be broken." So interestingly, the Zappinator was actually added like way back when Terraria was first made in like 2011. And they since removed it out of the game, but it's quite interesting that they added it back in the final update, which is quite nice to see. So this is what the Zappinator does. It just it shoots a laser kind of thing, but it does use your magic instead of like standard bullets, which to be honest I don't really like, but I guess that's another magic weapon in the game, which is quite cool. So this weapon I almost forgot to show is the Super Star Shooter, which is a revamped version of the Star Cannon. It does 70 range damage, 4 critical strike chance, very fast speed, average knockback, and the quote, I'm not going to read it because it's quite long. So this is pretty much what it does. It's quite cool. It's pretty much it's a better version of the Star Cannon, isn't it? So yeah. Pretty simplistic, it just shoots stars. So the next weapon that I have here is the Mace. So this does 20 melee damage, 12% critical strike chance, very slow speed, average knockback material, and can be upgraded with torches, which is quite interesting, to be honest. And you can find the Mace in underground chests in caves. So this is what the Mace does. It's pretty much another flail. And to me, it kind of resembles a harpoon in some sense. So the next weapon is quite similar, is the Flaming Mace. It's pretty much the same as the Mace, but inflicts fire damage. Okay, you can't really see by that. So the weapon after that is the Shrew Meringue, which does 15 melee damage, 12% critical strike chance, very fast speed, and strong knockback. So it's pretty much a boomerang, which you can find in underground chests in an underground mushroom biome. So the next weapon is the Morningstar, which does 180 summon damage, extremely strong knockback, 5 summon tag damage, 5% summon tag critical strike chance, and your summons will follow struck enemies. So this is pretty much what it is. So it's like another whip, if like the ones we've seen before. And this is similar with the Dark Harvest and the Cool Whip. So this one does 100 summon damage, and this one does 50 summon damage. So they're pretty much the same they're pretty much the same weapon, but with different characteristics. And the last weapon I have here is the Orange Zappinator, which is an upgrade from the grey one. So this does 100 magic damage opposed to the 42 that was on the grey one. 4% critical strike chance, very slow speed, average knockback, uses 16 mana, and again it says it might be broken. So this is just a better version of the Zappinator. I think it's the same, but it just does more damage. So the next weapon I have here is the Quad Barrel Shotgun, which does 24 range damage, 4% critical strike chance, very slow speed, strong knockback, and the quote is when 2 or 3 just doesn't cut it. So this pretty much shoots 4 bullets at once, as you can see here, and it's pretty cool. It does 24 range damage, and it like spreads the bullets around, which I quite like. So the next weapon I have is the Night Glow, which does 50 magic damage, 4% critical strike chance, very slow speed, very weak knockback, but the downside is that it uses 26 mana. So this is what it does pretty much. It shoots like little like daggers around you, which is quite cool. If you're like in a situation where there's mobs like in every direction, you can use this, which is quite versatile in my opinion. So the next weapon I have here is what you get when you start in journey mode. So this is the Finch Staff. It does 7 summon damage, weak knockback, uses 10 mana, and summons a baby finch to fight for you. So it's pretty simplistic. It's just a little bird on top of your head, which fights for you. And I think it's slightly better than the Slime Staff. So considering that you get this in the start of journey mode, if you really want to play on that mode, I guess, yeah, that's quite cool. So the next weapon is the Vampire Frog Staff, which is quite similar to the Finch Staff, and it's quite simplistic, but it's a vampire frog that follows you around and attacks enemies. I don't think it does any like special damage. Oh look, it's a pinky. The next weapon is the Blood Rainbow, which does 14 range damage, 4% critical strike chance, very fast speed, very weak knockback, rains blood from the sky, and a play on words here is rain in blood, which is quite cool. So it pretty much rains blood from the sky when you shoot, which is quite nifty, I guess. I'm not sure how you get it. I assume you get these 4 blood items from the Crimson. The next weapon is the Bloodthorn, which does 29 magic damage, 4% critical strike chance, fast speed, extremely weak knockback. It uses 20 mana and summons Bloodthorns from the ground. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It just summons these, these protruding things from the ground. And the only downside with this is that it uses a lot of mana, so if you have a mana flower with you, this will be quite useful in boss fights. So the next blood item is the Triplet Crippler. It does 125 melee damage, 12% critical strike chance, very slow speed, and strong knockback. So this is pretty much what it does. It releases the top part of the flail and does more damage, I guess. This reminds me to what the Plantera does with those spiky balls, and they do a lot of damage. So 125 melee damage, pretty OP, not gonna lie. So the weapon after that is the Kaleidoscope. It does 165 summon damage, weak knockback, 20 summon tag damage, 10% summon tag critical strike chance, and your summons will focus struck enemies. So this is another whip kind of thing, as it does summon tag damage, as you can see here. And I'd imagine you get this from the Hallow or from like an endgame boss, which is quite cool. So the last weapon that I have in this set is the Starlight, which does 79 melee damage, 12% critical strike chance, very fast speed, and weak knockback. And in my opinion, this is one of my favorite weapons in the game so far. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not sure if you can attack enemies through the ground, but yeah, it just looks it looks like a flamethrower, doesn't it? It just looks like a flamethrower on steroids. So these are the last 4 weapons that have been implemented in the new 1.4 update. So the first one is the Hallowed Jousting Lance, which does 88 melee damage, 12% critical strike chance, fast speed, insane knockback, and it builds momentum to increase attack power. So this is pretty similar to the Shadow Jousting Lance, which does 123 melee damage and is pretty much the same as the Hallowed one. And this is pretty much it. I mean, nothing really exciting. It's just a it's just a pokey stick, isn't it? So the weapon after these 2 is the Hera Prisma, which does 90 summon damage, weak knockback, uses 10 mana, and summons an enchanted sword to fight for you. And as you can see here, it's pretty crazy. As you can see, yeah, you can. So it's pretty much like a summon weapon. 90 summon damage to be exact. So the last weapon, and I've saved the best for last, is the Zenith, which does 216 melee damage, 22% critical strike chance, average speed, and strong knockback. So let me just cancel the Hera Prisma, and this is pretty OP. This is the best sword that's in the game right now, and it's pretty expensive to make as well. You pretty much need all of the powerful swords that have been previously obtainable in the game, and this is pretty much what it does. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and you can reach really far away, as you can see. I think you can, yeah, you can reach from from the edge of the screen. It reaches all the way there. And let me test it on one of the hardboard bosses. Which, okay, I'm gonna do a mechanical worm, and let's see how fast this dies. There you go. It took less than 5 seconds. Oh my god, this weapon is so OP. Let me try it on something else. The Skeleton Prime. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, it's nearly dead. Oh my god, I didn't really take that much damage. There you go. And last but not least, let's do the twins. Okay, let me just heal myself. And okay, let me take the Spasmatism out first, because that does the most damage. And there you go. All of the 3 hard mode bosses in less than a minute. So that's pretty cool. And that's where we're going to end off the video. These are all of the swords that have been implemented in the new Terraria 1.4 update, and I hope you've found this video informative and enjoyable. And if you have, remember to subscribe and also give it a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.